Hey guys, Eli here, back for my what November. I was gonna say October. My November movie haul, I guess you could call it. Got a decent stack of stuff here, not a ton. So let's go through it. Kind of have it separated into categories like I usually do. First off, we got a book. It's movie related though. I just had to check this out. I have not read it yet. I will eventually. I'm kind of giving it some time because I just watched the movie a couple of weeks ago. So we're talking about the Robot Dreams graphic novel. I have skimmed through it a little bit. The artwork is very similar to what you see in the movie. It looks a little different though, and some different characters and stuff like that. So it's good to know that it's just not it's not exactly the same as the movie. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it's like. Is it vastly different than the movie? Is it very similar? I don't know, but I had to check it out. I love graphic novels and comic books and stuff like that. So. Next, I made an order from Terror Vision, and you might have seen me talk about this label recently, and I'll kind of throw it out there again because of they're located in Savannah, Georgia area, so because of that hurricane that they had not too long ago, that has caused them some trouble. So they could use our help. If you're a fan of horror, action, stuff like that, exploitation films, check out Terror Vision. They got really cool stuff. I love ordering from them. I love what they do. I just made a small order, so I picked up this. So I can't remember what year this film is from, but it's called Killing Spree, directed by Tim Ritter, written and directed. I've seen some clips of this, and it just looks absolutely insane. So, so Terror Vision does top-notch work. Here's the DVD, and reversible cover as you would hope for. I don't know which one I like more, but yeah, I've seen some clips of this movie. It just looks just batshit insane. So very much looking forward to watching that. It's apparently very gory and splattery. I also picked up this very cool Basket Case and Brain Damage soundtrack. I love both of these movies. I've never listened to the soundtracks by themselves, so be pretty cool to do. I love listening to like old horror movie soundtracks. It's a lot of fun, especially when they're really, really good. Next, I'm an A24 fanboy, as I've said many times, so I was on the fence about this one because I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know if it was just like strictly a children's film. From what I gather, it's not necessarily. It's kind of one of those films that I think that it's kind of for all ages. So Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Yeah, it's kind of a ridiculous name, kind of a ridiculous concept, but apparently it's really, really good, and I still haven't watched it. I will get around to it, but yeah, I did some research. Totally grabbed my attention. Totally seems like something I would enjoy. This is a nice release too. It comes with this giant book, like one of the bigger books I've ever gotten in a physical release. So just from what I've gathered, this is pretty much about this Marcel, this little shell guy, on a journey to find his family, I think, which is very 1990s Disney type plot to me anyways, but I'm okay with that. Heard it's real good, so I'm really excited to check it out. Had to pick up Godzilla Minus One, one of my top films from last year. Saw it 3 times in the theater. I've done that with very few movies ever, so that's kind of saying a lot. Have not rewatched it since it's been out. It just came out a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I can't wait to watch it again at home for the 4th time. Had to pick up this 10th anniversary edition of Babadook. Really love this movie. I've had it since not too long after it came out. I just have a standard DVD, the standard, the IFC DVD that they put out originally. So it's cool to have this on Blu-ray. Apparently there's a ton of special features on here and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely would be interested to check some of that out. I think most of you have seen the Babadook by now, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. It's a very unique and interesting horror film. A lot of people seem to be kind of on the fence about it. For me, it's one of the better horror films of its time, and I think it stands up to this day really, really well. I think you could call it kind of a future cult classic. I know that term gets thrown out a lot by a lot of people, but I think in Babadook, I think it's. I mean, the movie's been out 10 years already, and I think it is deserving of that tag. Another film that I've been wanting to check out. I really wanted to see this in the theater, but it did not come to my theater when it was, when it was playing last year. Wim Wenders' Perfect Days, or I've seen some people pronounce his name as Wim Wenders. I'm not really sure. Very famous. He's a German director. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on this guy. I know the name. I've seen one of his movies, and it's great. So, and I'll be honest. The person that put this one on my radar, Chris Stuckman. Love him or hate him, I I don't really care. I think he seems like a decent dude. I have no problems with him, but yeah, he did a review of this last year, and I instantly, just everything he said about it, I instantly wanted to see it. I don't know a ton about this film, other than it's just kind of about this Japanese man who's a janitor, and it just kind of lives his life in a very positive way. I guess it's just a very uplifting, positive, happy film, which is something I could always use. Another one that I've been wanting to see for probably around 10 years. Sometimes it literally just takes me that long, not only to watch a movie, but to get out there and buy a copy or whatever. Usually just to watch it. Sometimes it literally takes me that long. So we're talking about Compliance. This is a thriller, I guess you could call it. When I saw the trailer for this, again, probably 10 years ago or so, when I saw the trailer for this, I instantly wanted to see it. I am failing at saying the release years of most of these films, but I think I'm kind of... Anyways, this came out 2013. Yeah. So it is. This is based on some actual real life events. You can read about it. These things happen, believe it or not. So this takes place at like a fast food restaurant. The manager gets a call by some dudes claiming to be a police officer, saying that one of your employees stole money, and the call just keeps getting darker and darker, asking her to like strip search these employees. And I've seen reviews of this movie before where people are like, "There's no way that no one would do this," but these things really did happen. It wasn't just once; it was numerous times in this weird time period. So I don't know. I really am excited to see that because I don't know, that trailer. It just seems really tense. The trailer totally grabbed my attention. I mean, Ann Dowd is in it. I think she's pretty much the lead here. She's great. It would actually be great to see her in the lead role. Who doesn't like Ann Dowd? Here's one I've talked about recently. This is just an upgrade for from my regular DVD. Picked up the Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich on Blu-ray because why not? It was $4. Then we got some standard DVD stuff, starting with I don't know. This one just looked interesting to me. I read some reviews, really, really positive reviews. The Dead Center. It's getting comparisons on the back to Autopsy of Jane Doe and It Follows, both movies that I like well enough. This came out back in 2019, so yeah, I picked it up for a couple bucks. Yeah, I figured it was at least worth checking out. Interesting too. This is an Arrow Films release. I've never seen an Arrow. Maybe it's just me. I've never seen like an Arrow like bare bones release. I've only ever really seen their more deluxe stuff. So yeah, I actually didn't even notice that until now. And then the last four that I have here are from the original, the first After Dark Horror Fest. You might remember that. When did this happen? Over a decade ago. Well over a decade ago. 2006. So if you don't know anything about After Dark Horror Fest, it was pretty cool. I wasn't really on the ball when it happened back in 2006, but it was just a 8-series like kind of mini film festival that played at select movie theaters. Very cool concept. I would actually like to see someone do that again because I just think it'd be really fucking fun, especially now that I'm going to the theater a lot more than I have in decades. I would love to be able to do something like that. So I picked out 4 of, and the reason I did this is because I saw an article, I think it was on Bloody Disgusting, which is a website I'm a fan of. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think it was Bloody Disgusting, where one of the writers was talking about this first After Dark Horror Fest and kind of broke down all the films and talked about which ones he liked the most. So I picked out 4 of the ones that seemed the most interesting to me, starting with The Abandoned. And I haven't seen any of these, by the way. The Abandoned, Dark Ride, which I guess this one's just kind of in the vein of like an old school slasher, like an 80s slasher, which definitely interests me. The Hamiltons, I think this one's either a vampire or cannibal story. I think it's like a vampire story. And Wicked Little Things. So, yeah, I think it'd be a fun kind of blast from the past to revisit the After Dark Horror Fest. I have seen a good handful of these films. Not these ones, but the After Dark Horror Fest films. And they did more, they did, I think, I can't remember if they called them seasons, but they did multiple seasons. So they did 3 or 4 horror fests, I think, something like that. So I've seen a handful out of all of them. I've never seen any of these. I don't know if I've seen, actually, you know, the first season, I don't think I've seen any. So I do have some others in my collection just scattered about. But again, kind of a fun blast from the past. I had kind of written off the After Dark Horror Fest films, 'cause I remember them being very, very hit or miss. But, you know, sometimes I'm a little hard on things. You know, maybe some of them hold up better than I would have expected them to. It was 2006 after all, which was kind of a shifty time period for horror here in the States, at least. So, anyways, let's talk about movies, guys. See anything here that you like or that catches your interest, maybe you want to check out, maybe you've already seen. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you guys stopping by as always. We'll talk soon, huh? Cheers.